Give me away. I wish I still had that hair, I must admit, and that fitness.
But you remember it well?
Oh, I remember it well. I mean, a game against Wigan is unique. It really is the derby of all derbies in rugby league. The passion, the fire, it's there in the players as well as the supporters.
It should be a great game. Off you go.
Thank you very much, Bob. Thank you very much. Certainly should. 90 years since the first derby match here at Central Park attracted a 5,000 crowd, and today's crowd 4 or 5 times that of 1903. Indicates the attraction a clash has got. And the best of the action there from today, Wigan and St Helens, the tie of the round at Central Park. But the best of the action tomorrow in Yorkshire, Leeds receiving Rochdale Hornets, and Widnes loses to Eagles in the league. They'll not be relishing that trip to the Don Valley Stadium. And there was nothing easy in that match for Wigan at 3rd Division Dewsbury. And a magnificent performance from 2nd Division leaders Featherstone had Saints fans really wanting that final whistle to come. And again, the 3rd Division opposition at Cumbria for Widnes, a tricky tie. They don't come much tougher than at Whitehaven. And a huge crowd, the same passion, the same fervour that was there 90 years ago. Young and old sporting their colours, mainly red and white and cherry and white here this afternoon. Difficult to tell the fans from the other, but all out for the Silk Cut Challenge Cup. That's the silverware which arouses the passion since it was first held aloft by the winning skipper. But earlier this afternoon, Richard Duckinfield spoke to the Wigan coach John Money and the Saints assistant coach Frankie Barrow, and both of them were conscious that the past didn't matter.
But I think for us, it's better getting it over with now than later on. The times we've gone to Wembley twice and we've got beat twice with Wigan, I think today is the right time of the year to take them on.
We're ready for the match. We've trained really well all week. You know, we've got our best side out, the same as St Helens, so best team on the day will win.
Of course, you've got that thumping great victory over Wigan under your belt. How do you feel about that now, coming into a game like this?
Well, we forgot all about that now. You can't go into a game like this thinking that we'd put that 41 points on them. That's gone well and past. And today's match will be a different game completely. Wigan are a very, very good side. I think it's going to be very hard to beat them.
We take wins and we take losses. We don't dwell on them. And I just finished telling the players that we're not here today to even the score up or get even or try and catch St Helens. We're just here to do a job and win the game.
Yes, to do a job and win the game, and that caption says it all for Wigan's record. 5 Challenge Cup final wins, and we have to go right back to Oldham at the Watersheddings in '87 for their last exit from the Cup, and a last-minute exit at that. A remarkable feat. And St Helens, so near yet so far from getting their hands on the Cup. And as we can see from those asterisks, Wigan having the hoodoo over them. 2 finals, a semi-final, and last season a 3rd round win. They really must wonder when their luck will change. And Saints do need to change the course of history. Their last Challenge Cup win over Wigan stretching back 16 years to 1977. 8 cup losses to the old rivals since those 2 Wembley wins in the 60s. But 2 very composed teams, and especially Shane Cooper there leading them out. Gary Connolly, Chris Joynt, John Harrison, Bernard Dwyer, George Mann from New Zealand, Jeff Lyon, the £90,000 signing of the season, and lastly Kevin Ward. A nervous time, but I don't think these players will be too concerned about that. Some of the world's greatest stars, like Paul Loughlin there and Chris Joynt, they've played all over the world and before crowds as big as this here, packed into Central Park. Phil Vivers and Jonathan Griffiths, the 2 substitutes. And lastly, the influential standoff, Tia Rapati. And Wigan's Kiwi Dean Bell, with Steve Hampson and Billy McGinty, Sean Edwards, Jason Robinson, Dennis Betts, Frana Botica, Phil Clark. Players scoured from all over the world, Andrew Farrader, Andy Platt. And lastly, Martin O'Fire. A very composed outfit. The side who have virtually made Wembley their home ground. And just listen to that roar. Tremendous atmosphere here at Central Park. The fans not knowing who is going to win. That's what Cup Rugby is all about. Wigan have the slight edge. They are the favourites by virtue, I think, of being here at Central Park and by virtue of that proud cup record. Wigan boss welcoming back Aussie Test centre Andrew Farrer after a slight hamstring trouble. But the real surprise at number 9, Great Britain striker Martin Dermott. He's taken just a fortnight to recover from a dislocated left elbow. He takes his place in an international front row. And St Helens also at full strength, with coach Mike McLennan preferring the midfield organisation of skipper Shane Cooper to the powerful running and strong tackling of the Welshman Jonathan Griffiths. Much will depend on that half-back pairing, Rapati and Cooper. And two very experienced Kiwis in charge of the teams. Dean Bell, 7 years here at Central Park, and Shane Cooper returning after suffering a bruised foot in that battle with Featherstone Rovers. And the referee there in the centre, one of the youngest referees in the game, but one of the best, 29 years old, Russell Smith from Castleford. Shane Cooper winning the toss, and he's electing to change round. And I think a sensible policy from Cooper there. There's no real wind advantage, but he is to face the vast majority of the St Helens supporters at the Kop end, and that means he'll have that support at his back in the second half. Quite an atmosphere, Ross.
Oh, it's brilliant here, Ray. The ground is absolutely packed to capacity, and there'll be as many St Helens supporters here as what there are Wigan, and it's a really top atmosphere. It's really good.
Yes, you couldn't get many more into this Central Park Cup. Packed out with 6,000 or 7,000 St Helens travelling army. And there's the roar. The Silk Cup Challenge Cup second round between the two informed teams at the moment. League leaders in Division 1, St Helens in the blue and white away strip, and second in the league, Wigan in the cherry and white strip. And immediately, Sonny Nicol. Oh, and a tremendous hit there, tackle by number 12, Billy McGinty. St Helens pen near their own line. John Harrison, 6'7", just throwing him back like a rag doll. And I don't think Saints will want to be contained here. I'm sure they will not be too long before the kick comes. Saints Kiwi coach lying on at the play of the ball. Penalty from Mr. Smith there straight away. Lying on, he wants a very quick play of the ball, and I think with such a crowd packed in here at Central Park, the fans deserve it. We want a good open game. Powerful charge there from Kevin Ward. Saints had the upper hand this season, winning the Charity Shield, the clash in the Championship, with Wigan winning the Lancashire Cup final. And just look at that tackling, Ross. 2 and 3 men at a time.
Yeah, this Wigan side, they realise that this is probably the cup final. They're just playing a couple of months early. And, you know, this Wigan side that's on the field today, it's probably the strongest they've put out all year, because they've had Skerritt out injured, Dermott injured, and so forth. So, you know, they are going to be at their peak today and their best.
The party to Gary Connolly. Weaving, trying to get away. St Helens will not want to lose this ball. They want to hold on to it. Good play. Georgie Mann's on the outside. Oh, forward pass. Forward pass. Paul Loughlin overrunning the movement there.
Yes, George Mann, he's just held that ball a little bit too long. Loughlin's going through a gap, and they've got the man on the outside, so, you know, they actually stretch Wigan's defence there, but nothing's come from it.
Mr. Smith telling them that at every scrum he wants to keep a foot away till the ball gets there. Nothing between the two packs in size. Botica to Bell. The run around. Oh, good play from Botica. Tried to launch Andrew Farrer. Farrer, big tall Aussie from Western Suburbs. Steve Hampson. Edwards. Good ball to Dennis Betts. They've got an overlap on the outside. Betts cut inside. But good tackle there by number 11 for Saints. John Harrison still sensibly playing that blind side to Kelvin Skerritt. Skerritt been trouble with injury this season, but now back to his best. To McGinty. Wigan invariably start like this here at Central Park. Tremendous thrust from Edwards, a chip kick. Well covered there by Alan Hunt. Good kick there by Sean Edwards. Played in every one of these 27 successive cup round wins at Wigan. Tremendous record. Dwyer to man. Hint of a forward pass again, Ross.
Yes, they're running fairly flat with this new 10-metre rule where the defending side's got to be back 10 yards from the play the ball. These First Division coaches these days are getting their players coming flat to take advantage of that yardage.
Well, a knock-on. Russell Smith, judging a knock-on. Tira Party was looking to the touch judge on this near side, Mr. Croft, for a judgment that the ball was stolen, but no such judgment coming. So scrum down, head and ball to Wigan. And Mr. Russell telling both sides he still wants them away until that ball. and a penalty. Well, a penalty, and very, very harsh, I think I must say. A penalty by Shane Cooper for obstructing Sean Edwards at the scrum, but surely Sean could have walked round him.
Well, here it is here. If you have a look at Cooper, he keeps moving in front of Edwards all the time. There he goes, back again. It's they're having a little waltz. If the music was going now, it'd be amusing, I think. Yeah. But the penalty was deservedly.
On reflection, I would agree, Ross. So, Wigan on the attack, driving in. Edwards to Farah. Farah, powerful man, 15 stone, this Australian centre. Betts still playing down that blind side, getting very near to that line. Oh, Betts is held up on that line. But tremendous pressure here from Wigan in these opening stages. Botica to Clark. Good tackle there by Bernard Dwyer and George Mann. Well, Botica went blind, but it comes back out to McGinty. Kevin Ward, number 8 there, former Great Britain prop in the tackle. The 5th tackle. Edwards, well, not kicking, electing to run. Dean Bell, can he get the ball inside? He does, but it's picked up by Saints. And almost lost by Alan Hunt. Well, Ross, we haven't had time to pause, have we?
No, it's certainly action-packed. But yeah, this is the game of the year, and yeah, it's one we've all been looking forward to. And yeah, I think this next 80 minutes is just going to fly.
Wigan already played 2 matches in this cup round. Beat Hull in the preliminary round by 40 points to 2, and Dewsbury, as we saw in the opening round. George Mann likes to run out wide. Good handler of a ball, this Kiwi. But no way through there. Dwyer, the kick. And I'm surprised there, Ross. That's the first kick St Helens have put in.
Yes, the last 2 times they've held the ball, they made mistakes before the 6th tackle come up. In fact, this is the first time we've seen them outside their 25. They've soaked up a lot of pressure from Wigan. We see whether they can turn this territorial advantage into points.
Phil Clark, number 13, the Great Britain loose forward. Edwards looking to break. Very dangerous, this Great Britain standoff. Sean Edwards. Platt, former St Helens player. Andy Platt there, number 10, one of only 7 players to have played at Wembley with both clubs. Bell, good inside work there, but good tackling there by Saints. Number 5, Les Quirk. He came in from the wing, he spotted the trouble. Oh, and that's a high one. David Lyons underneath it. Botica's there, and Botica tackles.
He's done well, the fullback there, Ray. He's had the pressure of the man coming down on him, and the ball was very high. And yet he just kept cool under pressure and took a very good catch.
And tremendous pressure on St Helens. They've rarely been away from that line.
There it is here now. You see his eyes. He's not worried about the player. He just kept his eye on the ball. Excellent work.
I think the question is, Ross, can St Helens withstand this pressure?
Well, they need to withstand this first 20 minutes. In fact, my feeling before the game was if St Helens score first, Wigan may be in a bit of trouble. But yeah, the way the game started, it's difficult to say that they can score.
Almost a break there by Gary Connolly, but good tackle by Andrew Farrar. And Connolly stepped in touch. Wigan head and ball. Four finals contested at Wembley between these two sides. Saints twice winners in the 60s, and Wigan twice winners in 89 and 91. That's a good kick. It's a race for a fire, but David Lyon surely there he is. That was a good kick, Ross.
Oh, very unusual. They got the ball from the scrum and they've kicked on the first tackle. But Martin Afai's positioning was excellent for the kick. Just that the Wigan fullback read it, a bit earlier.
John Morney, the Wigan coach, looking to take St Helens by surprise. Bernard Dwyer. Saints trying to keep this ball moving to John Harrison, number 10. But not a gap, not a chink of light there in that Wigan defence, moving up very, very quickly. And let's not forget, Ross, that the players are back 10 metres now.
Well, they've got to be very fit these days to play the game, and if you're back 10 yards, every play of the ball, you're doing 60 yards sprint in 6 tackles, right?
Stevie Hampson letting the ball bounce. A good tackle there by Shane Cooper, the man who kicked the ball. That's good following. For fire to Clark. Now then, St Helens have got to contain Wigan down here. Martin Dermott to McGinty. Willie McGinty, 4 caps with Great Britain, former Warrington player. Dermott again, using Botica. Interesting switch John Mooney made a month ago. Botica to stand off, Edwards to scrum half. It seems to be working. And the 5th tackle. Edwards again, the chief kicker. Alan Hunt. And again, good tackle by Kelvin Skerry. That's good play from a prop forward. Remember, the 16, 17 stone prop forward getting up there to chase a kick. And just look at that possession and territory there, Ross. All Wigan.
It is all Wigan. Well, all the territory's been all in St Helens half, and I think they've done well at this stage to hold Wigan out. Wigan are certainly playing a very wide game. They get the ball away from the rucks and got their centres running out through their centres.
Cooper, Connolly losing it. That's a bad loss. St Helens trying to keep this ball moving. That's how they won that 41 points to 6 championship win at Christmas. They had the ball and the better of Wigan on the flanks. They've got to get around this strong, tough tackling in midfield. But it's Wigan still pressing home the attack. Kelvin Skerritt, former Bradford Northern prop. Edwards, invariably the first receiver. Clark to Platt. Back to Botica again. Dean Bell. 10 seasons in British rugby with Carlisle, Leeds and mostly at Central Park. Clark, can he get the ball away? No, he can't. Good tackle by Saints, Gary Connolly there, clamping the ball to his chest. Edwards, what would the kick be this time? The little shot. Oh! A knock-on, is it? Well, that was unfortunate for Kevin Ward. Just like a goalkeeper, he got there, but in a way it might have been better if Kevin Ward had missed it and it had gone to David Lyon, Ross.
Yes, you see Edwards here, he does a little chip through again because there was nowhere else to go. Ward's dived like a goal kicker, but behind him out of our screen, or just coming in there now, is Cooper, who would have picked the ball up on the run, and I think he would have been better off.
Well, it means the pressure back on St Helens, a sequence of 6. Bell to Farrar. And Farrar, just look at the strength of this man. Just on a 1-season contract here at Central Park. Oh, good tackle. Superb tackle on Edwards by Shane Cooper. No love lost between those two. And Wigan's powerful forwards driving ever nearer. Kelvin Skerritt again. Edwards to Botica. Is that crossing? I think it is, yes. The crowd will roar. Bell may think he scored, but no. Referee Russell Smith. They have to sit down in their seats. A judge crossing.
Yes, it's a fair decision. Bodiger gets the ball. He hangs on for a little bit too long. The player crosses. It's a good pass, but he has crossed and caused obstruction, which is a free kick to the opposition.
So, relief to St Helens, and referee Russell Smith telling the players he wants the play the ball and the kicks to touch much quicker. He certainly wants this game speeding up. Harrison. Good ball to George Mann. St Helens like to play this forward. Number 10 out wide. Sonny Nicol in good form now. Took a little time to settle in when he came from Sheffield Eagles to St Helens. And a penalty for trying to steal the ball, Ross.
Yes, here's Sonny Nicol. He's a big, powerful bloke, and Farrah's got hold of him, and they've come in to give him a hand. And just as they hit the ground, Andrew Farrah just reached the ball out.
St Helens then with their first chance to attack. John Harrison. Tallest forward in the game, unusual in rugby league, 6'7". George Mann. And Richard, any news down there on the benches?
Yes, there is, Ray. The news is that there's a slight worry for Wigan about the condition of Martin Dermott's elbow. They think that they'll have to bring him off at some point, but of course Wigan will play their substitutes anyway. But that's the message that's come down from John Money. The other message that's come down from John Money is that they've got to convert this territorial advantage into points.
Connolly, he has a chance to convert points. Saints on the attack now, with a good tackle there by Stevie Hampson, but St Helens driving for the line. Chris Joint. The last tackle. Saints looking, and crossing Kevin Ward. I think he wanted the ball, did Kevin Ward. He could have used his 16 stone to power over there, but crossing. So a penalty, and just look at him, Ross, he's annoyed, isn't he?
Well, he is annoyed, and he probably rightly so. I mean, a big, powerful man like that, when they get a steam up 10 yards out from the line, they certainly take some stopping, and you know, you don't use them as dummy runners, them big blokes. If they are there, you've got to give them the ball.
Onawatika, the kick to touch. Andy Platt. 15 minutes gone, still no score. Very, very tight. We had a score line of 5 points to 4 in Wigan's favour in the Lancashire Cup final earlier this season, but I somehow think we'll have more points than that. Such is the pace of this game, such is the relentless pressure of the tackling. I'm sure something will give sooner or later. Dermot, the man Richard Duckingfield said were a few problems about with his elbow. Back to Platt. Wigan keeping it moving. Jason Robinson, the 18 years old teenager, scoring the tries these days at Central Park. Botica. Bell. And a mistake from the fire. Well, really, Ross, a knock on from a fire, but was there any need to miss out the centre?
No, I think they're being a little bit too keen there. Wigan, they threw 2 cut-out passes, and really they didn't give themselves any advantage because they actually cut out the defence by the long passes. Like here it is here, straight past Farrah to Martin Afire, and because the ball doesn't reach him on the full, so it's just bad football, that.
Good ball to Lyon, but well spotted. I think Coach John Money has been looking at the videos. He spotted Saints move there. Cooper. Connolly. High tackle. Billy McGinty apologising, but any tackle, whether intentional or accidental, above the neck, is a penalty.
Yes, Billy McGinty comes in here. I don't think it was intentional. Connolly was stepping and sort of dancing around, and McGinty had to stop him.
So St Helens again using Harrison, invariably leading with Harrison on the first or second tackle. Cooper to Mann. Perhaps a little bit too much in field for George Mann. He has that yard of pace that not many forwards have. He can break on the outside. Dwyer to Nicol. One wonders, Ross, would it be worth snatching a drop goal?
Well, I'm not a real believer of dropped goals when the scores are 0-0. It just takes the pressure off the defending side, Ray, and it puts yourself back under pressure for only 1 point.
David Lyon to Connolly. Saints moving the ball in midfield, but not really going anywhere in that sequence. Dwyer to Nicol. Again, not running from death. And there is a chance at the drop. It's there. A superb drop goal there from David Lyon. Well, Ross, I thought it was worth taking. I mentioned it to you, and I really do think that David Lyon's done the sensible thing. A psychological boost, the one drop goal. David Lyon, 18 minutes gone, St Helens 1, Wigan 0.
They might have a BBC TV out on the field, Ray. I think they might have heard you. It's a great kick. I mean, it's almost brought the clouds down out of the sky. It's gone so high and so long. It was a good kick.
I think, Ross, a point doesn't count for an awful lot at this stage, but psychologically there's something there, isn't there?
Well, there is, and if they manage to pick up a try now and convert it, it just puts them out of reach of Wigan. So, you know, it is a good idea, and they weren't going to score off that sixth tackle.
Good tackle there from Dennis Betts to Nicol.
I think at this stage, St Helens have got to bring Kevin Ward into this game. He's doing a lot of running when they've got the ball, but they keep using him as a dummy runner instead of giving him the pill. Now, the man's such a big bloke and he can unload a ball.
John Morney, very relaxed before the game. Perhaps a little more tense now. Dwyer. Oh, running very dangerously on that blind side, but Saints still keeping this ball moving. Cooper looks for support. And Ward's lost it. Well, again, a little bit too much technical stuff there. Puts Wigan back on the attack. Dennis Betts. Wigan looking to wipe out that 1-0 lead. And Richard.
Yes, Ray, Kevin Ward's got a thumb injury. It's going to need to be strapped up. I don't know if that's why he lost the ball just before. But certainly they're a bit concerned about Kevin Ward in this St Helens bench. It looks as though he'll need some attention fairly soon, Ray.
And we can see him there just flexing that thumb. Farah, well, he's had problems already in handling, but a very experienced forward. Martin Afire trying to make something out of nothing. Oh, he gets it to Clark. Clark can't get the ball away. And the knock on by Jason Robinson. George Mann up there, St Helens number 10, very, very quickly, but the advantage to St Helens with this scrum.
Yes, the referee has given the decision of this knock-on to Wigan. He's saying that the first knock-on was a handball forward before Jason Robinson dropped it. So therefore, Sean Edwards gets the feed.
So, Farah. Been in plenty of the action, this man, Andrew Farah. Had a hamstring problem earlier this week. Dean Bell. And Edwards again at the hub of things, always directing operations in the scrum half spot, moving the ball about the field. Here he is again, number 7, trying to bring young Robinson in. A half-back, as a youngster, cutting through this lad. He's a powerful player, just 18 years of age, but an old head on those shoulders. Puts Wigan now, driving in here to Botica, looks for support. Again Farah, back to Phil Clark. McGinty to Bell. Now then, he's got Betts on his outside. He's going himself to the corner. Dennis Betts. Oh, the Wigan skipper is in at the corner. A magnificent try from Dean Bell. He used Dennis Betts as the foil. He took matters into his own hands. The determination was there. And he said, I'm going. And he got there. The 1-point lead is wiped out, and Wigan on top, 4 points to 1.
There was some very lazy defence from St Helens here at this stage, Ray. I think the pace of this game might be starting to get to them.
Certainly was. That corner there, Ross, that's where the damage was done, wasn't it?
That's right. He's the ball's just going out along the Wigan line, and they're not really achieving anything at this stage. But the St Helens defence is all disarrayed. You see Lachlan there, number 4, chasing Dean Bell, but he doesn't really chase him. He only ambles along behind him, and you know, there's 2 missed tackles there, and he just dives over for a try. Dean Bell does well. At the same time, it's very lazy defence by St Helens.
And Frano Botica wanting a little more room to kick the ball. The Kiwi at risk of upsetting 1 or 2 devotees of Fred Griffiths, Colin Tyrrell, or the late great Jim Sullivan. Surely this man must be about the peer of all Wigan kickers. Wonderful record since his arrival here from the All Blacks. Botica then from the touchline. Oh, it's looking good, and it is good. He strokes it over the post. Goal kicker supreme. Frano Botica, 23 minutes gone, and Wigan into the lead by 6 points to 1.
Oh, it's so important to have a goal kicker in your side. But that ball was right on the sideline, and he's put it over, no problems at all. There's Dean Bell again. You can see that lazy tackle from Kevin Ward. And you see the number 4 and the number 1 coming across there, and they were just too lazy and weren't urgent enough to get there to stop Bell.
That really was slack defence, Ross.
It certainly was.
So, Wigan, 6 points to the good for all that pressure, and that's the man who did the trick, Dean Bell. Clark gets the ball moving to Billy McGinty. And Richard on the bench down there.
With Graham West, the Wigan assistant coach. Graham, that was a long time coming from your point of view, I think.
Yeah, well, they've been patient, and the defence has been good, and the attack will come. That's what we're playing.
Were you anxious half an hour, all the pressure you'd had before that?
Yeah, but the defence has been good. We've kept them out. They were on our line at one stage, and we kept them out, so we're happy.
Thanks, Graham. They are right.
Yes, Wigan very, very happy. Edwards again, keeping the pressure down here on the St Helens. This is a good kicking game from Wigan, Ross. They really are pressuring Sage down here, aren't they?
Well, St Helens are not putting Wigan under any pressure at all when they go to kick, and Sean Edwards then, he was going to kick to the right-hand side of the field, but he had a look to see where the fullback was, and he altered his kick and put it into open spaces, and which gives his chasers plenty of time to get down there.
I'm rather surprised because the St Helens coach, Mike McLennan, has often instructed his sides to kick on the first or second tackle.
That's right. Well, I think what his idea is today is to try and wear this Wigan side down and make them tackle for 6 tackles, and he probably feels they're not as fit as they should be.
Number 13 there, Chris Joynt, out to contest the Great Britain loose forward jersey with his opposite here, Phil Clark. Well, there is a kick, but right down Steve Hampson's throat. Beats Cooper, beats Dwyer, but runs into the awesome shape of number 8 there, Kevin Ward, and Chris Joynt. Botica again, bringing Dennis Betts through. An indication there of the possession and the territory, showing how much St Helens have been up against it. But still, just that one score try, 6 points to 1 in Wigan's favour. Sean Edwards there, moving around, doing a lot of talking to players like this number 11, Dennis Betts. Keep it up, keep going, he says. Can't relax in a derby match like this. Suddenly a purple patch can take a side away. Good ball to Alan Hunt, but going nowhere. Good tackle by Andrew Farrer. This man, number 4, Farrer for Wigan's having a good defensive game, Ross.
Yes, I think before the match, Ray, Farrer was either going to win it or lose it. He hasn't been playing all that well, and probably the weakest part of his game has been his defence. But today, he certainly he hasn't missed a tackle. He's put some very big hits in, and he's looking very strong in attack as well. So he's in for a good game.
O'Loughlin, number 4, the Saints. Nickel. But this Wigan defence very tight around the play of the ball area, especially there with Skerrett and Andy Platt. Mann. Last tackle. Well, again, not a kick that put any real pressure on Wigan, did it? It didn't go to the corners, and it wasn't high, was it?
No, it's what I call a nothing kick. I don't think his coach is going to be too happy for it. He hasn't put Hampson under any pressure at all, and he certainly didn't, give his chasers time to come up, the way the Wigan side have been doing.
Good example from these two captains there. Number 7 for St Helens, Shane Cooper. Number 4 for Wigan, Dean Bell. And a good wrestling match here going on between Sonny Nicol. There's the scorer, Dean Bell. Andy Platt. St Helens' turn to move into the tackles now. To Edwards. Finding Bell again. Becoming a danger down that right wing. Dean Bell and Joe Lydon. That says something about the power of this Wigan side when you can bring such an experienced international on the field as a substitute as Joe Lydon. Steve Hampson fielded the kicks well so far. George Mann. Not seen a lot of tear party at the moment, the St Helens standoff, Ross.
No, there's a few of the St Helens players I think are hiding at this stage. They're just not getting involved into the game. One of them's this man here. They need a big game from him, and he just doesn't seem to be in it in attack. He's doing his share in defence, but for St Helens to win games, he's got to run the ball up and do some of his classy unloading in tackles.
So St Helens really contained down here, really clamped by this ferocious tackling from the Wigan pack. Now then, here is Tira Party to George Mann. Oh, a loose pass picked up by Hunt. One or two of the Wigan fans were looking for a forward pass there, but Mr Smith didn't blow. That's a better kick, a high one, but brilliantly fielded again by Hampson. Tackled by Les Quirk. Back to Jason Robertson. Likes to come in field, likes to make breaks like this. Only 5'7", 12 stone 4, but a powerful little lad. Tremendous upper body strength for an 18-year-old. Just half an hour gone. The one try to Wigan. Phil Clark, former Liverpool University student in sports science, one of the very fit lads. Just number 13, Phil Clark, on the blind side, looking to get into the action. Sean Edwards keeps putting the ball down to this Alan Hunt wing, Ross. Any particular weakness?
No, I don't think so. Hunt's a very good winger, and is probably dangerous as well. I think the reason for it is David Lyon is sticking to the other side of the field, and that's where Sean is spotting the gap in the defence. So it's just giving them more time to get down and recover the kick.
Well, a lot has been made of the fact that this season St Helens have scored 10 tries to Wigan's 1 in the 3 meetings so far, but it certainly doesn't look like 10 tries here today. With this defence from Wigan, and Kevin Ward, number 8 there, knocking on again. Possibly trouble with that thumb. Puts a lot of work on the St Helens defence. Dennis Betts just doesn't manage to get through this Great Britain second row. Platt. Dermot to Phil Clark. Platt again, getting through a tremendous amount of work, this number 10. Andy Platt, former St Helens star. All good play on the blind side by Dermot. Back to Bell again. Edwards, now then. This is pressure. Kelvin Skerritt finds a fire. Can a fire find a gap? He's got the pace if he can. But he gets it away to Dermot. Little Robinson's dancing about. Danger again on that right wing. Every time the ball moves around there's trouble. Robinson quickly to play the ball. Edwards crossing. We're getting a lot of this missed ball, Ross, missing out the man, missing out the pass, putting the long pass out. It's causing confusion, isn't it?
I think so. I think Wigan might have been a little unlucky on this occasion. Sean Edwards held the ball up, but I don't think the player coming through actually interfered or infringed anything with the defending player. He's moved out of his road now, and George Mann wasn't impeded at all. So, you know, the referee might have been a bit hasty on that one.
And Joe Lydon there does come on for Steve Hampson. Former Great Britain star. Cooper to George Mann. The ball not really getting out from the St Helens forwards, is it? This Wigan defence moving in very, very quick on the outsides, Ross.
Yeah, they're using a swarming defence pattern, Ray, where you go up in groups and you sort of come out like an umbrella around them, and when the players tackle, the other defenders will move past the man so they can't slip the ball to a player supporting him from behind.
Well, that's better there. Gary Connolly, he's made a couple of breaks already, this youngster, and that's a penalty, stopping Gary Connolly from playing the ball. Jeff David Lyon there, just inquiring, should I go for goal or should we put it into the corner?
Yes, it's a good tackle there from Phil Clark. It's a copybook tackle from behind. It's good for the kids to look at that sort of thing. But then he was foolish by grabbing the player's leg when he stood up. He should have just left him alone, and St Helens would have had to kick because it was getting near the fifth tackle.
So St Helens then on the attack once again, using Harrison as the battering ram. 6 metres from the Wigan line. Cooper to Ward. The ball to Mann. Oh, he's got Rapata. What a tackle. What a tackle from this man, Farah. St Helens again. Mann driving for the line. A metre short. Desperation stakes here for Wigan. Just 5 minutes to half-time. Rapati. Saints on the attack. Connolly. But just look at the defenders there in cherry and white. 5 there in the screen on there. Flooding around these blue and white jerseys. Saints on the attack. Ward. Oh, a bad pass. A bad pass. Intercepted by Phil Clark. O'Fire. Sensibly coming in midfield, helping his forwards out.
Yes, here it is here. Ward has got to get these passes away, but this is what I was talking about, this umbrella defence, Ray. The Wigan players have come past the line of defence and are there waiting for those passes, those short passes.
Well, that looked a forward pass, but Wigan allowed to play on. Dennis Betts. And Richard, any news down there?
Yes, on the St Helens bench with the assistant coach Frank Barrow. Frank, a bit worrying because you've got 1 or 2 players who aren't on top of the game at all, really, haven't you?
Not at the moment. We just don't seem to be clicking together. On our attack, we line a bit too flat. We should be a lot deeper than what we are. But their defence is brilliant at the moment.
We'll see some changes from you in the second half.
We could do. Kevin Ward's struggling with looks like he might have broke his thumb. He's struggling at the moment, so we could have a couple of changes at half-time.
Thanks, Frank. Back to you, Ray.
Well, that would be sad. I really do think Kevin Ward is struggling with that thumb. But of course, if Saints are to make changes, then they've got 2 backs on the substitutes bench. Phil Vee was in Jonathan Griffiths, so that presents a problem. A bit of forward to come off. But Ward getting back into it there. This man has defied pain in the past. He will do if called. Rapati. Good kick. Now that's a pressure kick. Makes Joe Lydon wonder, does he stop it or does he let it go? Good kick there from the Kiwi, Tira Party. Number 6 for St Helens, the leader at the halfway stage in the players' votes for the player of the season. But Lydon there judging that kick very well. It is a problem though, Ross, isn't it, that the side who made the kick, and a good kick, they don't get head and ball, do they?
No, I think they should. You know, years past, if you kick the ball out, you did have the feed. And I think they could easily revert back to that again. But what that did, it made people kick the ball out on little short, silly kicks. So, you know, it's a rule that's very hard to change.
And it stops full-backs like Joe Lydon from really making any attempt to stop the ball, doesn't it?
Exactly. you're better off letting it go out and set the scrum, and then you've got your patterns already set up, ready to go.
Oh, good break by Dermot. Botica down that wing, but good cover. Loses the ball and finds himself in touch. But a tremendous break there by the Kiwi, Botica.
Yes, Botica actually done a brilliant piece of football. As he hits the ground, he lets the ball go because he knows he's going to slide out. And he's hoping that one of his support players will come and scoop that ball up. But the referees judged that he went out before he let the ball go.
Rapati to Paul Loughlin. Loughlin happily recovered from the broken arms that have plagued his seasons for the past two. David Lyon. Richard.
Tactical change on the part of Wigan. You probably noticed that Jason Robinson has moved into number 6 and Frano Botica's gone on the outside. Just an interesting change that John Moan has ordered the Wigan team to make.
Rapati to Loughlin. Oh, good play to Connolly. Now then, it's Quirk and Botica. There's Quirk, number 5, the Cumbrian, easily held. Cooper now bringing the team forward to Ward. Coming more into this game, Kevin Ward, looking to get the pass away, but the last tackle. What about a high kick from Rapati? No, one for the corners. Oh, it's a tester for a fire. He's got to knock it back. That was a good kick, good tester there. Martin Offiah not knowing quite what to do.
Yes, it was a well-weighted kick. The ball's been left in the in-goal area, so Martin had to make a decision, and he's hit the ball over the sideline, which allows Wigan to kick out and St Helens get the ball back. So that was probably the best kick we've seen from St Helens today.
Well, Joe Lydon to drop out, but St Helens just under a minute here in this first half to wipe out this 6-1 Wigan lead. The seconds ticking away to the half-time hooter. John Harrison. Doing a lot of strong driving there. Dwyer again. Ward. Probably trying to get as much out of Kevin Ward as they can this half if he is to go off with that possible broken thumb. Cooper to George Mann. Looks for the support. Tries the dummy. Can't get the ball away. That was a good tackle again there on that far side, but it's Saints now moving in strongly. Rapati puts the kick through. Oh, the bounce of the ball beats him. Tia Rapati signals to the bench. Thought there was a chance, but no. There's been a flurry of activity down there. John Mooney's been down there, Saints chairman Eric Latham's been down there, and certainly these players will know what to do for the next 40 minutes. And there we see Kevin Ward coming out, Ross, for the second half. There was some concern as to that broken thumb.
Yeah, when we just spotted him then, Ray, he had that right arm very heavily strapped. I'd say there he is there. You can see the arm strap. So I'd say he has got a problem there.
Well, I don't think anything will take that man off the field unless he really has to. Chris Joint there will be looking for some runs from him, and Nicholl and Harrison. And Gary Connolly there leading on the field. He's one player who has found the gaps out wide. And Dean Bell, Joe Lydon staying on the field for Steve Hampson. Billy McGinty, power work from Skerritt. Frano Botica, that beautiful goal from the touchline. Wigan leading 6-1. Still that proud record of 27 consecutive Silk Cup, Challenge Cup round wins at stake. And the likes there of young Robinson meeting the challenge from St Helens. Just look at those penalties conceded by Wigan, Ross.
Yeah, most of them have been for laying on, and there was a couple of infringes for shepherding. But the possession, 16 and 17 minutes, that's pretty fair. And at 6-1, those sort of stats do add up.
So the crowd still not knowing which way this tie will swing. And I'm sure Mike McLennan, the Saints Kiwi coach, a worried man at the moment, but he's planned hard. He's got few peers in the game as a coach, and just signed a new one-year contract to extend his stay at Nosey Road next season.
Yes, I'd say, Ray, that at half-time he would have been calling on T. Rapati and Bernard Dwyer and Kevin Ward to actually take the ball up a little bit more. You know, we're so used to Sonny Nicol making big 50, 60-yard runs, bumping people off. I think in that half he probably touched the ball on 4 occasions, and each time he was tackled first up, and, you know, fairly easy tackles. So, you know, he isn't getting a result from a few of his forwards, and I'd say he's would have had stern words to him at half-time.
So, Wigan in possession, Kelvin Skerritt, number 8. Edwards again, launching his forwards, and Dennis Betts here, the Great Britain international second row, enjoying himself, but a foul tackle there. Russell Smith, the referee, spotted it immediately, telling everybody to get away, but not Paul Lachlan. Keep it down, he says.
Yeah, there's 2 men in the tackle here. There's no need for Lachlan to go in, but he goes in and he gives him a little uppercut. No need for it, and straight away he's put St Helens under pressure.
Very impressed with this referee so far, Russell Smith from Castleford, Ross.
Well, he's had an excellent game. I've hardly noticed him on the field, Ray, and when you don't see a referee, you know he's had a good game. You know, he's talking to the players all the time, he's keeping them on side, and if there's any infringements, he speaks to the player individually on the run and lets the game progress.
Wigan pressing then before the mass supporters in the Cop end. Sean Edwards, always a danger, liable to sidestep off that right foot. Betts looks for the gap, doesn't find it. Shane Cooper's there, Saint skipper, number 7. Wigan looking for a try immediately after half-time. Before and after the interval, always the deadly periods. The crowd roaring for a high tackle, but Mr. Smith adjudging that it was on the shoulder. The 5th tackle, looking for the drop from Joe Lydon. It's there, straight through the post. Joe Lydon, he's kicked a few drop goals in his time. Remember that semi-final at Main Road, Manchester City. That 55-yard drop. Here's another one, not as long, but as vital. 7 points to 1 for Wigan. 42 minutes gone.
Yes, here's Joe. He's put himself 20 yards back from the play of the ball, so he's got plenty of time to kick it. And like the one in the first half, it could have brought rain down. It's gone so high.
Joe Lydon, 28 years of age. Been around in the international scene for a very, very long time. And the ball back, and that's a bad kick from St Helens. The ball kicked directly into touch. So the penalty to Wigan. And it'll probably be Lydon or Edwards again. Richard?
Yes, right. Billy McGinty, the Wigan forward, has a problem with his right knee. They decided at the beginning of this half to give him 5 minutes to see if it would get any easier, but if not, they'll take him off. So that's a problem for Wigan. Billy McGinty's right knee. Kevin Ward's thumb has been strapped up, and that drop goal, by the way, was a carefully planned and worked move. Back to you, Ray.
And there is Billy McGinty. He looks to be struggling with that right leg, and of course you can't afford to be one player down in a game like this. Kevin Ward, heavily strapped, battling on. Saints desperate for points now, Ross.
Yes, they've made a couple of errors, you know, at the start of this half, which I don't think they would have appreciated. But they need to score in this next 10 minutes if they're going to be a force.
And here they are on attack now. Sonny Nicol. This is suddenly like the St Helens, the league leaders have been playing this season. And a penalty. A penalty. Interference there. Number 14, Joe Lydon. The hero 1 minute, and Joe Lydon, the villain, the next minute. Keep your hands away, says Russell Smith. And Joe Lydon tells him in no uncertain terms that he couldn't.
Yes, he's a little bit unfortunate there, Joe. He's off balance and he can't get up. But the referee's not mucking around with him today. If they don't roll straight away, he's penalised them. That's the 3rd penalty he's given for lay-on. So the players must understand they've got to get out of that area of the game.
And well worth the penalty attempt from Paul Lachlan. Very big, powerful man, once kicked 6 goals in a derby match back in 87. Been out, of course, for many matches this season, so only 22 goals to his credit. But not the most difficult of kicks. And it's there. Just about gets in, Ross, doesn't it?
Well, it hit the upright and bounced in. I mean, it wasn't one of his best kicks, but it's still worth 2 points. A little bit of luck has gone their way. You can see it curling here, and it looks like it's going to miss, and it just shaves that upright and goes in.
And I think that kick there, normally a lad like Paul Loughlin would backheel that ball over, but the passion and the pressure's on, isn't it?
Well, you know, there's 20-odd thousand people here, and they've only just started from the half-time, so I'd say he's a bit tired, a bit nervous.
And there we do see Kevin Ward heavily strapped with that left thumb, obviously in difficulty. Now then, can that 2 points spur St Helens on? And Dwyer to Harrison. Done a lot of work at the first receiver, this big tall St Helens forward John Harrison, taking a lot of punishment in the tackle. Chris Joynt, good run from Joynt. Oh, almost interception. Play on, says the referee. Paul Loughlin strides away. St Helens now beginning to move the ball about. Wigan defending desperately. Cooper. And Kevin Ward again loses the ball.
Yes, he's in position there, but Cooper's a little bit late in giving him the ball. He's giving the ball when the defence is hitting him, and you know, that's the second occasion that's happened in this game. Cooper's got to unload earlier and let Ward sight the opposition and then do his business from there.
And another penalty. George Mann holding Andrew Farrer down. All of the players get up looking a little disconcerted, but referee Russell Smith has been consistent right from the kick-off. He's been telling them he wants a good play of the ball. Dennis Betts took the ball down the blind side there, drew the cover across. Wigan will move it now. Botica, good ball to Dean Bell. He's got Robinson outside him. Little misunderstanding there. Sean Edwards. Billy McGinty. The knee seems to be okay, but of course Billy McGinty, one of the runners in the Wigan pack, needs 2 good fit legs. Edwards to Betts. Dennis Betts breaks free. Oh, the good dummy from Betts. Look for support, it's not there. The 5th tackle. O'Fire. Is O'Fire looking for the drop goal? And he finds one. Well, we're used to seeing Martin O'Fire scorching at the corner, but there's a drop goal from O'Fire, and it's not his first. He's had one earlier this season. Martin O'Fire takes the lead out a little further. 8 points to 3.
Yes, here's Martin O'Fire. Everyone was expecting to make a diagonal run for that corner, but instead of that, he just straightens up and lands over a drop goal as if he's been doing them all of his life. Very competent kick, a very competent player.
And that's his 2nd of the season. I was here earlier in the season when he put one over in a similar position.
Ray, to me, it seems like John Maney's taken the judgment that this game's going to be a very close match, and so every time Wigan get inside St Helens half, I think you'll find they're going to have a potted field goal. And if they kick 6 of them during the second half, well, it's as good as a try and a goal.
And of course for St Helens, they're in a difficult position that they do need a try, so they can't go for drop goals, can they?
No, there won't be. I don't think 40 minutes is enough for us to see 12 field goals in one half.
Edwards trapping the ball, soccer style. To Betts. Betts presenting a danger now, invariably beating the first man. Mr Smith wanting the Saints defenders back. To Skerritt, just look at him there now, pounding down a beautiful ball to O'Fire. Oh, Fire's almost through. Back to Skerritt again. Good handling there by the prop forward. That shows something of the skills of these forwards. 17 stone Skerritt, running like a centre. Edwards. Testing David Lyon. He's up to the test. Lyon, good run. And suddenly, Ross, this is somewhere up about 7, 8, 9 on the Richter scale, I think, this match.
It's good. There's plenty of excitement in it. The crowd's getting their money's worth. They haven't stopped cheering and clapping the whole time. It's a very good advertisement for rugby league.
And there we see, Ross, another lost ball from St Helens, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good tackle there by Skerritt. This second half, he's like a man on a mission. He's put on 5 really good tackles, and that one actually jarred the ball out of Connolly's hands. It was such a big hit.
Good short run there, burst again. Phil Clark. Dermot looking for the dummy run, but Platt charging through, heading for the line. St Helens battling for their life here, defending 8 metres from this St Helens line. Still pounding in this Wigan pack. Dermot having a good game at hooker. Edwards again, looks for the drop again, no. Lydon, the dummy, gets it to Robinson. It's still there. And the last tackle.
Boddicker setting himself for a field goal.
Good pass in the middle to Boddicker. The chance. A 2-1 on the outside there now. A fire to the corner. Oh, good tackle. Superb tackle there. The ball went forward, but that was the sort of chance that O'Fire had. No try for Boddicker. The 6th tackle. The knock-on. Drama and excitement here at Central Park. Surely a chance come begging there, but what a tackle on Saints cover. Bernard Dwyer. St Helens, Ross, a little like the boxer, hanging on the ropes at the moment.
Yes, I think they're on the backward pedal, and if Wigan come up with a try now, I think the ball game will be over. Now, I can't see St Helens pulling back 2 set tries, but give them to their credit, I don't think they're out of it. If they can sustain this pressure from Wigan in these next 5 minutes, we've got a contest and a half.
Well, nobody can be out of it with a scoreline of 8 points to 3. And you're not league leaders for nothing. David Lyon struggling there at full-back. But back to Lyon. Long kick. Joe Lydon having instrumental effect on this game now, Ross, from full-back.
Yes, he's a good player, Joe, and he can play in the centres or at full-back, and I think John Mooney's got a real winner in having a player like him on the bench.
52 minutes gone. Bell. Good sidestep. He finds Edwards. Well read again by Shane Cooper, St Helens number 7. He's watched Edwards all afternoon. Good battle between the 2 scrum halves. Platt. Oh, Phil Clark's racing through. He's going round Lyon. He's going for the line. Wonderful try from the loose forward. Straight through Phil Clark. And that shows the tension here, the excitement of the Wigan players. Clark almost in tears. The ex-Wigan St Patrick's amateur, the Great Britain loose forward, took the matter into his own hands, raced through there, rounded Lyon, and the try was a formality.
Yes, here's Clark here. George Mann there, he doesn't really put an effort in there, and Clark just brushes him aside. He gets to the fullback, palms him off, and then he's got a clear passage to the line. But this Phil Clark, he's got to be the find of the season. I rate him as the Great Britain's best player at this stage, and just see why here. He just brushes Mann away, comes to the fullback, pushes him away, doesn't even lose stride, and heads straight to that try line, and he's straight over.
Well, as one might expect from a sports science degree at Liverpool University, he's a fitness fanatic and he has pace. And here's a man, no doubt, if they were giving degrees out for goal kicks, it would be a first-class honours. Frano Boddicker.
Have a listen to that singing, Ray. It makes you shivers down your spine. It's so exciting. You know, back home in Australia, you know, they don't sing, they sit there and they watch the game and they don't show emotion. You know, the English crowds over here, they really do something for you.
Well, and Boddicker really does something for this Wigan side. He keeps the score ticking along. 14 points to 3 now. 54 minutes gone. And just look at the pace, Ross.
Yes, if we just slow it up here, you see the strength there. The strength in this area here from Clark. He uses the elbow or his arm to push the fullback away, and if you speed her up, he pushes himself away from the player and then heads straight for the try line. It was a good attempted tackle by the fullback, but it was just brilliant defending and evasive work from Clark.
Well, St Helens now have really got to throw caution to the wind. The ball has to be moved all around. But how will they break down this wonderful Wigan defence? Ross, what would you do as a coach?
Well, I think what St Helens have got to do now is move the ball around. You know, they're going 2-1 out when they get the pill. They've got to move it around and open this Wigan defence up and take their chances.
But it's Wigan opening the St Helens defence up, and a penalty. Jane Cooper being told in no uncertain terms that he knocked the ball out of the Wigan player's hand.
Yes, Shane Cooper comes along there, and as he hits the ground, he pulls his arm free. He might have been unfairly judged there. I think the player might have just dropped the ball and milked a penalty out of the referee.
So difficult, isn't it, to tell, Ross?
Well, I think when they brought the rule in, they knew there was always going to be mistakes made.
And two coaches there just, well, wondering what's going to happen in this next 20 minutes. Dermot to Betts.
Yes, St Helens have got two very good subs just sitting on the bench in Jonathan Griffiths and Phil Beavers. I think at this stage Mike McLennan would do well to bring both those players on, because he does need to turn the game around.
Griffiths is a very strong Welshman, isn't he? He can make the breaks, Ross.
Well, I judge him as a footballer. I think he's an excellent footballer, and Phil Beavers has been in a couple of Wemblies. He knows what it's all about. You know, I think he can do with them out there.
Lydon looking for another drop. Oh, it's there! Joe Lydon, the cool head of the Great Britain international, taunting, teasing St Helens with another drop goal. Superbly taken.
Yes, once again he's positioned himself really well. He sidesteps the first player who comes up, and then the rest of the St Helens people have gone to sleep. It's not such a good kick as the last two, but he got the same points for it.
And dare I say it, Ross, did I not predict a few drop goals early on?
Well, we've only got 3 more to go this half from the 6.
23 minutes to go then. Wigan in control, but St Helens with sufficient talent in this side to suddenly strike. But that's the man at the moment, Joe Lydon. Commanding performance since his arrival on the field. And Richard Duckingfield down there.
Yes, Ray, there was an example there, that Joe Lydon drop goal, of something that John Mooney's been impressing on the players in training all week. He's been impressing on that they would have to play at the top of their game for the full 80 minutes, that they had to control the field, control the football, and you saw Joe Lydon doing just that with his great expertise and experience, Ray.
He certainly has experience, and he's no doubt his expertise is not diminishing as the years go by. Clark, Platt. But I think this is the area, Ross, where suddenly Wigan have upped the tempo in the pack. These props, Skerritt and Platt.
They have, and they're running well from dummy half.
And there's Edwards going away. He's got a fire alongside him, but Edwards is through, straight down the middle. Sean Edwards, the league's leading try scorer last season with 40. The league's leading try scorer so far this season with 31. And his 199th try in the Wigan colours. One more for his double century needed.
Yes, Dermot's done well here. He wormed his way through a very weak St Helens defence, gave the ball to the ever-present Sean Edwards, and he's just made a beeline for the try line. I think Martin Afire might have liked the pass from him, but it wasn't necessary because Gary Connolly just arrived a bit late.
Well, there's great rivalry between these two. Certainly Sean Edwards, when he sees the line, he doesn't give the ball to anybody. Afire wanting to get in the try-scoring act, but Sean Edwards, he's going all the way. The supreme professional. One more needed now for that 200 in the cherry and white jersey. And Frano Botica, 2 from 2 attempts. An easy goal for Botica. Keeps the scoreboard ticking away. 21 points to 3 for Wigan, and St Helens with everything to do in this final 20 minutes.
Yes, Dermot does really well there. Like, you've got to remember the guy's just had a fractured or a dislocated elbow, and 2 weeks ago, and he's come back and he's just taken on the whole St Helens defence. And you know, he set that try up there for Sean Edwards, and you know, full marks to Dermot.
And there we see Neil Cowie coming on the field for Billy McGinty. That knee obviously causing problems for the former Warrington star. And we noticed there Kelvin Scarrett running through Phil Beavers. Phil Beavers, number 15, slipped on the field, and there is Billy McGinty having some attention there from the Wigan doctor.
Yes, what the Wigan side's doing at this stage, Ray, is they send in Scarrett up with a big hard run, and straight after him comes Andy Platt, and they're just causing too much problems for the St Helens defence. But on the other side, Ward and Mann are not doing the same when they get the ball.
Well, there is Kevin Ward, sadly having to leave the fray, possibly not fully fit at the kick-off. And Phil Beavers on, normally a full-back, and that's a problem for the Saints. No big forward to bring on, but they really do have to move the ball around. They've got to play seven-a-side rugby against this Wigan side. Lachlan can't quite get through. Cooper to Beavers. Rapati, Connolly. But this tackling relentless. A little bit too strong there from Andrew Farrer. And there is Phil Beavers, very experienced player since coming to St Helens in '84.
Yes, here's the tackle. You see Andrew Farrer here. He has another grab at Connolly, and when he brings his arm up, he brings it up too high. I don't think there's anything malicious in it, but it did deserve a penalty.
David Lyon then puts to touch. St Helens not really mounted any attacks on this Wigan line this half. Such has been the ferocity of the Wigan tackling in midfield. Beavers looks to launch George Mann. Mann driving away, keeps the ball going to Sonny Nicol. Possession this half, Ross, 92% for Wigan. Not often you see that.
No, that's a lot of possession. That just shows you the tackling St Helens have been forced to do.
Connolly forced into touch, and that skipper there, number 3, Dean Bell, what a game he's having. Leading by example, setting the example for Wigan, and former New Zealand skipper Dean Bell, one of the hardest men in the game. Wigan's head and ball. Jason Robinson. Lydon again, linking up. Robinson. St Helens really have to contain Wigan down here. They can't let them keep breaking out as they have been doing. Again, these two prop forwards, Platt and Skerritt, keep charging at the Saints' defences. Edwards. Oh, well taken by David Lyon. Fully recovered now from his leg injury. Lachlan. Not had many chances this afternoon, this big international centre. Phil Beavers. Just 15 minutes remaining. Wigan leading 21 points to 3. And Saints looking for their first try of the afternoon. Cooper. Chip kick by Dwyer, tries to break up the cover. He's lost it again. Two knock-ons there, but should be the first knock-on taken from Wigan. Should be head and ball to St Helens.
Yes, here it is. It's a nice little chip through by Dwyer. He chases his own kick up, and Lydon makes an unfamiliar error there. But unfortunately, the ball didn't land in the St Helens player's hand.
I think that's the problem with that 92% figure. Well, there's the first scrum against the head. That 92% possession figure, Ross, Saints probably a little afraid to put the chip kick in or the little grubber kicks in to break up this defence.
Yes, they need the ball. When they get possession, because they've got so little of it, they need to run it for 6 tackles, and because of that, their attack becomes stereo and very easy to read.
Dermot, what a good game he's had. Twice dislocated that left elbow. Dennis Betts. Will Clark. Scaddert. Oh, good pass from Scaddert. Bell. He's got Robinson on his inside. Good tackle by David Lyon. Forced into touch. Strong little lad, this former Hunslet Parkside amateur, but only 18 years of age. Not strong enough to resist the attentions there of the two St Helens tacklers. But a great future in the game. Cooper. A long ball to Connolly. And a forward pass. Oh. No, he's... yes, he is giving a forward pass. I thought for 1 minute he was telling Wigan to get back for offside, Ross.
No, I think he has called a forward pass, but I don't think he's correct. We got that white line directly behind, and you see Connolly here. He's a foot one side of it, and the player actually catches the ball level with it. You know, so it's a touch and go, and I think someone's a little bit unlucky.
Yeah. Certainly didn't look a forward pass to me, Ross. That's why I was thinking he was telling the Wigan cover to get back.
That's right.
So, Phil Clark coming more and more into this game now, the loose forward, breaking the first tackle. Oh, to Dermot. Knock on, but play on, surely. Yes. Harrison. One or two tired forwards out there, I think, especially in that St Helens pack. You summon up the energy when you're leading. Back to Hunt. Good tackle by Afire. And he's lost the ball again. St Helens guilty time and time again of losing this ball. You can't play Wigan without the ball, and that's what's happening here today. Hunt a little aggrieved. Felt he got a knock on the head.
Yes, he's fairly fresh, Hunt. He hasn't had too much to do in this game, but yeah, it's a good tackle by Martin Afire. He's lost the ball. I don't think he's got anything to complain about with that tackle.
And there's Martin Dermot, Steve Hampson waiting to come on. Hampson, versatile player, and Martin Dermot done very well. Dislocated his elbow a fortnight ago. And Richard down there.
Some very unusual news, Ray, I think. We think that Jason Robinson is going to play hooker. He's going to number 9. Joe Lydon's going out on the wing. Steve Hampson at full-back. Pretty unusual, Ray.
Well, I've seen everything in this modern rugby league. Players moving from wing to hooker. Bobby Goulding, the witness scrum half, used to regularly fill in here for John Mooney at hooker. Doesn't say a lot for the modern scrums, does it?
No, it doesn't. But the build on young Robertson is you know, he is built for a hooker. He's a little stodgy little guy, low to the ground, big shoulders. He's got a big neck, which means he can go into the scrum and won't get an injury. And he's got pace. So to me, he makes a good hooker.
And a penalty there for interference at the play of the ball. Robinson lost the ball. Well, was he interfered with, or did he just lose it, Ross?
No, I think he might have just lost it. This referee in these last couple of minutes has done 3 decisions against St Helens, and I think St Helens have been unfairly judged on the 3 of them.
Certainly is a very difficult decision to make, but I know it's one thing that really does grief players when, you know, a penalty is given against you and you feel you haven't done anything around that play the ball area.
That's right. Like you get penalised for things that you do wrong without being penalised for the ones that are okay.
So Botica looking to keep his 100% record. Again, round the corner style. I was looking at his boots beforehand with the groundsman, and they really are just like a pair of carpet slippers. But they stroke the ball beautifully. They put it between the posts like that. And 25 points to 3 here now for Wigan, and Wigan on the way to avenging that 41-6 thrashing by St Helens. 23 points to 3. 70 minutes gone, 10 minutes to go. Good charging run by Farah. Oh, and a good ball to Lydon. Racing away down here. And the kick. The chase by Lydon, but beautifully picked up by Shane Cooper. That was good play by the Saints skipper. But Wigan now moving the ball about. Cooper saved a certain try there. Harrison, as he has done all afternoon, bringing the ball up at first receiver. Still Saints looking for a try. 9 minutes to find one. George Mann. Rapati. Hampson, well taken. Oh, O'Fire. Good shout by O'Fire. Good tackle too, though, by Phil Beavers. Just that one chance at the corner for O'Fire earlier on. I'm sure the Wigan fans would be looking for O'Fire to put the icing on the cake with one of his specials. Betts. There is the man, plagued with shoulder injuries this season. Andy Platt. This has been one outstanding forward, number 10 for Wigan, Ross, Andy Platt.
Yeah, so he's got to go very close to being man of the match. His defence has been superb, and every time he touches the ball, you can guarantee 10 yards. What are the...
And it's Lydon again. Not this time. Joe Lydon looking for yet another drop goal. And would you believe it? Another mistake from St Helens. Bernard Dwyer hangs his head and says, what more can we do? Just look at those handling errors there. Wigan on the attack. Botica. Oh, Dean Bell. Good set move there. Obviously O'Fire was destined to receive the ball, but just didn't get it. Botica. And I think that's why Robinson's at hooker, acting half-back. That's where he likes to be. And there he is, number 2, Jason Robinson. Clever little footballer. Betts to Farah. Hampson. Lyons underneath it. He's lost it. He's retrieved it. Wigan not afraid now to put the little chip kicks in and try anything, Ross. Comfortably in the lead. Well, Wigan's a champion side, and you know, it's a credit to them. After all these years, they can still be as competitive as what they're showing out there today. You'd think after winning so many trophies that, you know, that edge would wear off you, but they've shown out there today that they still want to win every piece of silverware that's going, and it is a credit to them, Ray. And that just shows you there's something of the game, doesn't it? 142 tackles made by St Helens. That's an awful lot. Yeah, they've made a lot of tackles, and because of all that defence, when they get the ball, they're not as sharp as what we've seen of them in the past. And it's also the reason why a lot of the handling errors are coming in. Just 5 minutes remaining, and still this Wigan defence as powerful as ever. A tribute to their fitness and the fitness of the St Helens side. The forwards still keep coming. Cooper, good ball to Cooper. Now then, Lyon to Alan Hunt. He's got Connolly inside him. Oh, good pass by Connolly. Will he go inside? Oh, it's a forward pass. A forward pass to David Lyon. Everything going wrong for Saints. Wonderful run, wonderful rugby, but the final pass from that lad Connolly. But it was good cover from Wigan that kept them out, Ross.
Yes, it was. The Wigan slide defence worked really well here. You can see them all coming across in cover. Now, Connolly's got an open line here, but Martin Afai comes across and he puts this ball up over the top of the Wigan defence, but it's definitely forward. And if you could see the positioning of the referee then, it's a credit to him. He was right in line and well up on the game to judge that pass.
And there is the man of the match, as I thought, Andy Platt. Tremendous performance. A commemorative medal for him and a £130 cheque. Dean Bell. And just look at that attendance, Ross. 21,179. That just shows you the health of rugby league amongst these top sides. And I think there'll be some very good crowds at Sheffield Eagles tomorrow for witnesses arrival, and at Leeds, OKR and Castleford, Wakefield. Nothing like the Cup, Ross, for bringing the fans out.
Oh, no, they love this silk cut. It's a great competition, and you know it's finales at Wembley, and everyone wants to be there, and everyone knows it all over the world. I know even in Australia we love watching Wembley.
Well, BBC Grandstand will be there on May the 1st, and tickets still available. Shane Cooper plays it to himself. He can do if nobody's marking. Good play by Cooper. Les Quirk. First touch of the ball this half, I think, Ross.
Yes, we haven't seen much of him. I think he could do better by coming in and giving some of their forwards a little rest. Lachlan's doing a good job. He's taking a lot of the first balls up, but I think Quirk could have done a little bit more earlier in the game.
Mr. Singer, the touch judge with the yellow flag, telling the referee that there was interference at the play of the ball. And of course, if you don't hold the ball, Ross, then you can't have territorial advantage, can you? That's St Helens' problem.
Well, those stats there tell you how much Wigan wanted to win. You know, they've gone out there fired up, and you know, when you can keep the opposition in their half for that long a time, you want to win a game of football.
Just 2 minutes remaining. Cooper. But all credit to St Helens, they've never stopped coming forward. A penalty against Andy Platt for a swinging arm. Bernard Dwyer still looking for the try. Cooper. Oh, good ball for a forward pass. A forward pass. But all credit to St Helens and their skipper. That's the adventure they like to play with. And John Mooney, well, in his final season here at Central Park, probably a very relieved man. And looking, I think, in his final season for yet another Wembley appearance. Shortly to jet off to take charge of the new Auckland team that's moving into the Australian League. Bell. Bell again. Quite a few high tacklers coming in now. The referee having to warn the players. Betts to Skerritt. No, I think a tackle on the chest from Rapati. Oh, and a punishing kick there from Sean Edwards, sending Lyon back. just coming up to the 40-minute mark in the second half, and Wigan's unbroken run of Challenge Cup successes continues, now stretching to 28 consecutive Cup round wins in the past 6 seasons, and for the 5th year in succession stopped their great rivals from loosening their grasp on the Cup. 2 Cup finals, semi-final, 3rd round, and now a 2nd round defeat. 5 absorbing battles, but there is the hooter, it's all over. Wigan emerge triumphant. The players don't quite know because of the noise of the crowd, but Wigan are through to the 3rd round, and the question we all have to ask: is there any team out there capable of halting their march to yet another Cup final?